I enjoy the chat. Keep them coming. I'm well aware you lot. I keep saying it. We might as well now, innit? So where do we start? Let me make sure I've got everything. Pardon me. Has anything come out in the? Has anything come out in the last hour and that? Let's go on the normal Twitter accounts. Has anything else come out that I've missed? All right, cool. Pepe. This is where I like to scan around. Pepe thing. One sec, people. We're gonna get all of this done. All right, Levi Colwill. Who follows me on Instagram? When are you gonna come for the DG interview, mate? My friend. I know you're a Chelsea, but it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. All right, let's get into it, people. Let's start, man. Let's start with the bookie things first. Let's start with this. I've seen this developing a lot today, people. Where is the other one as well? Put that over there as well. Now, I saw it last night. Marquinhos to Arsenal move in doubt as Wolves claim pre-contract agreement. One thing I give Arsenal is they wouldn't go through with this if there wasn't pretty much confidence that they were going to get their man. But I don't know. Unfortunately, this is something that you see quite a lot, which obviously is sad for Wolves if they did have that, and it's sad for us because we better kept that £3 million receipt in it. Probably gonna call numbers and people don't exist. You're gonna call Sao Paulo and be like, oh, me and Jimmy had a contract. Be like, what, Jimmy? He's never worked here before. What are you talking about? Like, we probably got a bandili like Graham Souness for that Don who said he was my man's cousin. But Marquinhos to Arsenal move in doubt as Wolves claim pre-contract agreement. Arsenal's £3 million move for Brazilian teenager Marquinhos faces the threat of becoming a legal battle after it was claimed the player had already agreed to join Wolves this summer. As you know, the Gunners have agreed a deal with Sao Paulo for the winger. He's also been given the green light to go to the Emirates Stadium. There could, however, be issues as according to reports in Brazil, a legal battle may ensue and claims Wolves had already agreed a pre-contract with Marquinhos. Arsenal and Wolves declined to comment when contacted by the Standard Sport. It is said Marquinhos signed a 5-year deal with Sao Paulo in 2019 when he was 16, and you're not allowed to do that until you're 18. So this tells me immediately that either it's a young, impressionable young man just with dreams to come into Europe and financially better himself and develop his career, or there's built people around him because he's 16. He's an impressionable kid that either Sao Paulo did him dirty or his advisors did him dirty. Because, I mean, come on now. Signing a 5-year deal at 16 is one strike. Allegedly agreeing a pre-contract with Wolves is another one. And did we not see it the other day where, who's that lad that's at Marseille now? There's a midfielder that was linked with Arsenal. He's now at Marseille. I forgot his name. He plays every week, but Watford signed him, and then certain booked things happened, and Marseille went and got him. So as much as the game has developed, there's still issues, people. You know, really and truly. So yeah, we'll have to see, people. That would obviously have made the winger a free agent this summer, and explains why Wolves believe that they could have agreed a pre-contract agreement. In I think it means in place, but in Palace it says here. Sao Paulo, however, agreed to sell Marquinhos to Arsenal this summer for £3 million, and such a situation could cause, pardon me, legal issues for the youngster. The Gunners had looked to sweep for Marquinhos after identifying him as a talent for the future as opposed to right now. It was expected that he would work with the first team in pre-season and possibly be part of the tour to America, but he could go out on loan to aid his development and adjustment. We've already heard we're set to sell Daniel Ballard either on loan or permanently. This is said the Northern Ireland 22-year-old international has interest from Burnley, Cardiff, Sheffield United, Stoke and QPR. He deserves it. Had a fantastic loan spell at Blackpool, had a very good loan spell at Millwall. Unfortunately, you know, you've got Saliba, allegedly, if he comes back. You've got Gabriel, you've got Ben White, you've got Holding. Even if Marie comes back and warms the bench, there's him. Just too much, really, in front of you. I do think he'll be one of them to play Premier League football one day. You know, where a team might get promoted and whatnot. But, yeah, I think it could even be worth giving him a new deal and loaning him out. I think you could earn a decent fee from him. I don't think anyone's going to give you what I'd seek. I think he should be able to get. I think 10 million quid's a fair fee for the 22-year-old. So we'll have to apply Arsenal tax there, people. So yeah, it is what it is where that one there is concerned. So yeah, seems like there's issues around that. As you lot can see here, people, again, you know, apparently that, you know, Wolves are set to present a legal complaint against Marquinhos in the coming days. According to information, Wolves claim the player had a pre-contract with them. So by signing for Arsenal, he's breaking the deal they had. It's even claimed that Bruno Lage's side hired a law firm in Brazil to start a formal process against the 19-year-old. Since Sao Paulo are not involved, the action is only towards the player and not the club, so it don't really affect us. Nicola has contacted officials from Tricolor to know if there are any chances the move to Arsenal could collapse. The journalist was told that the deal is going forward, and even though the Gunners haven't paid for the transfer yet, apparently we're paying in December, they've given legal guarantee already completed his medical and he's joining and actually that he's been in London. So we'll have to see really what's going on where he's concerned, people. So it is what it is for the young man. Obviously, once again, he signed a pre-contract with Wolves. Sao Paulo knew about the deal with Wolves and offered him to Arsenal for a small fee. His contract ends in the 12th of 2022. You know, this actually said Wolves are considering actions against Sao Paulo, Arsenal, and the player, which is conflicting to what we just read. But what did we do? We've clearly been fleeced and lied to as well. So I don't know what's happened there, man, but it is what it is. Arsenal weigh up 4 new signings as Cody Gakpo of interest and Darwin Núñez scouted. This has to be an old thing. 5 hours ago. Man are recycling the same stuff, but let's see exactly what's going on here, people. Apparently, the main priorities are signing a striker, a centre midfielder, a wide player, and a fullback could also be added, but those areas are not as pressing to improve upon. Obviously, Gab Jesus is the primary target. Apparently, Mikel wants a new midfielder, specifically someone who can play as an 8 in a 4-3-3 formation. Yuri Telemans has emerged as the top target there. Apparently, a new fullback would be a welcome boost. Cedric, and to be honest, we heard that the club were happy with Cedric, but I'm not. When filling in last season at points, but shit at others, but they can be improved upon. Someone like Aaron Hickey, who plays for Bologna, would be an ideal addition. A wide player would also be beneficial. Saka, you know, basically played every game, and Pepe looks dead set to leave the club. Obviously, apparently Cody Gakpo would fit the bill, but does Cody Gakpo get into our starting 11? Because he made a big song and dance about it's a World Cup year. I've got a lot to think about, people. And he is settled. So maybe he stays. And again, if we get Gab Jesus to go with Eddie, maybe we say, you know what, Nelson, you might get some minutes instead of Saka. So I don't know. So we'll have to see. Aaron Hickey, you need to be arriving at the club. In terms of possible incomings, Jesus and Telemans look prime targets, but they have been linked with many others in attack. Darwin Núñez, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Jonathan David, and Tammy Abraham have all been scouted, while in midfield, they've also tracked Ruben Neves in the past too. When it comes to fullbacks, Hickey has been heavily linked. Spence, who has excelled on loan at Forest, people. When it comes to wide forwards, a move for Gnabry has been touted, but we're admirers of. We all know it looks a myth. You know, it looks a myth for Lacazette. Bellerin wants to go. Marie should be moved on. Matt Turner's been brought in to replace Leno. Ainsley Maitland-Niles needs to keep it moving. Torreira looks on his way out. Nelson is in limbo. It all depends where you're at with Xhaka, because on the face of it, 29 years of age, contracted until 2024, playing week in, week out, loved internally at the club by the gaffer and everybody else. Settled, you know, with his family, got a couple new kids and that, been in London for a while. Made no secret of his desire to play in Italy and watching Serie A moving, growing up. So you never know, but that's one that you just probably have to watch this space. We're over half the way there to 300 likes, people. Come on, man. Keep pushing, keep pushing. So there's nothing really of note here. Like, it's just somebody just saying what we already, as fans, know. In relation to Zinchenko, people, Arteta plotting double City raid on Zinchenko and Jesus. Wasn't it Gundogan and Jesus the other day? Arsenal are considering a double swoop for Manchester City. Mikel Arteta already wants to sign Gabriel Jesus from his old employers, and Sports Mail understands the manager holds an interest in Zinchenko too. The 25-year-old is viewed primarily as an asset to bolster Arsenal's midfield, who could be utilised at left-back when required. As you know, he has spent really the bulk of his time over there, you know, as a left-back. During his spell as Guardiola's assistant, Arteta, currently on holiday in Greece, enjoyed a good relationship with both Zinchenko and Jesus, but he would have competition for both. Would have to see, people. So we'll have to see. I don't think Zinchenko wants to leave. He's a popular figure. And he, you're at City, innit? Obviously, you could offer you more game time and things. Pardon me, I don't know. But is he going to play ahead of Xhaka? Is he going to play ahead of Tini? I don't know. Does he want to join us? Pardon me. He seems one of them players that, a bit like El Nene with us, that with City, that he's not leaving until you have to force them sort of dons out. Like, he's got no reason to leave City. He's probably punching being at City, respectfully to the individual, So why would you? And especially he's comfortable. He's got a wife and that. He clearly loves playing under Pep Guardiola. Been in the Champions League final, playing in Europe. Arteta, the fact that you can become a senior player, more senior player in a young squad, and you can play for Arsenal. They're the only things that we can offer you, really. So we'll have to see. I don't really buy it, but I will take him for what it's worth, people. This is kind of reiterating the same thing. And I think Pep likes Zinchenko in his squad, really. He likes the multifunctional players. There's obviously at times Cancelo who plays left back ahead of him when Walker's fit. And you surely, they want Cucurella, and you'd imagine left back is one of the areas City could significantly improve, which might have a knock-on effect for Zinchenko, but this is all hypothetical. The Daily Mail's just saying the same thing, really and truly, just reiterating the same thing, just looks a bit better, really. So we'll have to see, man. For both of these players, they might struggle for first-team football, so we'll have to see what's going on there, people. In relation to Gnabry, again, this is what these lot said. Apparently, it is known to Arsenal. Without Champions League, it would be unrealistic, but not impossible. Bayern Munich want to sell him this summer if he doesn't extend, and Real Madrid have inquired about him. I think he's more likely to go United or Chelsea or Real Madrid than Arsenal, but I want to be wrong, of course. So there's that. Again, Real Madrid area serious about signing Serge Gnabry after missing out on Mbappe. Gnabry can see himself staying into his final year at Bayern, but the German club want to prevent this situation. It's a bit like Lewandowski, isn't it? Really, you've got to prevent that, or it's going to get peak, really. So we'll have to see how that one develops. But yeah, so that's where Gnabry is. In terms of William Saliba, Marseille face competition for William Saliba. Despite Mikel Arteta speaking, speculation on the young centre-back's future won't go away. Although Arsenal are hoping to keep hold of the returning William Saliba, in brackets 21 years of age, Newcastle, Napoli and Atletico Madrid are interested in the defender, whilst Marseille still remain keen, according to Fabrice Hawkins. Obviously, Arteta said he has to come back, but according to Hawkins, Marseille have not given up the idea of bringing him back. Pablo Longoria has previously stated that it's the desire of the club and the player to bring the loanee back, people. He's had a good standout season where he's been named in Liga team of the season, obviously young player of the season, been capped by France, and just ultimately improving and playing football, which is the most, for me, playing football is the benefit, because that's developing. All the awards, all the international caps, that's all the byproduct of you doing your job. But minutes are currency. He needed minutes, and he's gonna got that. Arthur wants to leave. Arsenal was already strong interested in January still. Now without Champions League, they will have to downsize their next purchasing campaign unless the Gunners are open to including Gabriel in the deal. I think a bit like Hosamawa, personally, I think the Arthur Melo boat has left Arsenal, really, and it's Telemans and done. But at the end of the day, what do I know? I'm just a football fan. 265 likes for what it's worth, though, people. Very appreciative of that. So yeah, read into that what you will. Closing that, apparently Pepe has been offered to PSG. No longer really in the odor of, this is just a lot of Google Translate's not helping me, but long story short, Pepe is living a real nightmare at the Emirates Stadium. It's saying he can't play. We all know he can't get game time, people. Apparently, we'll close that. Google Translate not helping me with this, but he's been linked with PSG, people. It's frustrating not to play. No player likes to not play, but I have to respect the coach's decision. When a team wins, it's hard for a coach to make changes. Mikel explained it to me, and I know I have to work hard in training to get more playing time. The coach knows what I'm thinking and how I work. It's also a question of communication. Sometimes it's not easy to communicate with the language barrier. That probably tells you it all. Luis Campos has gone to PSG, so maybe that's where the Pepe links are coming from, people. Nothing has changed for Pepe. The Gunners have lost patience with the one who has one of Arsenal's highest salaries, who has scored more goals with Cote d'Ivoire this season, which Ivory Coast them with Arsenal. Got an assist in the last game of the season, and are already looking for a replacement. players to know where the bounce back with such allurements. According to our information, the Ivorian has been offered to several clubs, starting with PSG. The capital club, which has just said goodbye to Di Maria, is also looking for a successor. If Dembele's track is a priority for Paris and Campos, the future of the strongman of the Paris transfer window is attentive to the situation of the player whom he had brought to the north and whom he had made progress in Lyon before Pepe crossed the channel 3 years ago. So it's a mad thing for him. Don't know why that's there. Smith Rowe in major 2022 boost, as he's told under 21s called not the most. You didn't deserve to be in the English squad. You know, second half of the season not really been the best. You're competing with some good players. He can get there, but it weren't happening. Lee Carsley says Smith Rowe should not see his inclusion back in the 21s as a demotion. Yeah, it should be. I hope he uses that as a pre-season. What did you say? We don't want them to see it as a demotion. Ultimately, your club form takes care of that. Our job is to maybe let them kickstart themselves. Such a high standard in your seniors that it's almost a conveyor belt where you need to be performing weekly, week in and out. The way Gareth communicates to the players when they go up always leaves the opportunity to come back across and play with us, people. So yeah, big up to him. So yeah, man, Smith Rowe, do your thing, man. Really, do your thing. Mash your work and is what it is. Arsenal will reportedly look to bring Serge Gnabry back to the Emirates this summer as the winger mulls over a Bayern Munich departure. The Gunners are also said to be prepared to wait until next year to secure his services on a free transfer, with his contract at the Allianz Arena to expire in 2023. So yeah, people, you know, it is what it is. I don't know why anyone would want to leave Bayern Munich, but fair enough. Arsenal have asked for information about fullback that will cost 20 to 25 million offers, could 20 to 25 million pound, and it could make the club listen to offers, people. According to this, apparently, people, we're looking, you know, we're looking at people, you know, we're looking at Federico Di Marco, 32 appearances in Serie A is of interest. In fact, the side led by Mikel Arteta have asked for information about the lad, but Inter Milan are keen on selling. It's stated the left back is seen as an important player for the Serie A side, and their manager Simeone Inzaghi, which was shown by their renewal of his contract towards the end of the 2021 until 2026. Say Inter could clearly reflect on the player's future, so we'll have to see with that one. Again, this is irrelevant to Arsenal, but apparently Barcelona could walk away from the Rafinha deal, which could be right up our street. Only if Dembele leaves will Rafinha Dembele anymore. There is no space, much less salary margin for two and more. After Leeds saved themselves in the Premier League, the departure of the international has not dropped in price and is far from the 25 million euros agreed in case of having dropped into the Championship. So we'll have to see how that one develops as well. In relation to Ruben Neves, people, Man United, Arsenal, and Newcastle have all made some kind of contact to sign Ruben Neves, reports Sport coming out of Catalonia this Friday, people. Neves has been linked with Man United since his days at Porto. Arsenal have been strongly linked with other targets, and Newcastle are being thrown into the ring at any opportunity, given the finances on offer to Eddie Howe. So yeah, people, really, it just says we've been linked. Even if Neves ends up at the Camp Nou rather than Man United, Arsenal, Newcastle, it would likely be for a better price. We'll have to see what's going on there. Chelsea won the kick Colwill. Now, he could, you know, he could probably stay at Huddersfield. You know, they're 90 minutes away from playing in the Premier League. Very good player, this 18-year-old turning 19. You know, very good, cultured. You know, can play on the left or the right side of a centre-half pair in Chelsea. They need to learn their mistakes from Tomori and Mark Gurhey and get this one correct, really and truly. And I know he's up front, but Tammy, you're selling guys when you could have fixed things. Still a long way to go. You know, sometimes makes mistakes, but yeah, man, can play football, marks well, very mature beyond his young teenage years. I don't think we're getting him, but Arsenal and Leicester interested in Chelsea won the kid Colwill, you know. 19-year-old's done quite well. He's been a regular. Again, there'll be scouts, you know, Palace, Southampton, Brighton have all been looking at him. You know, apparently Chelsea are ready to bring him back for pre-season under Thomas Tuchel. So we'll have to see, people. Apparently, they're also reluctant to sell him out, sending him out on loan again, really. But you're linked with targets. Again, he's only linked with us because he's a left-sided centre-back. I'm not sure we're going to go for him or Chelsea would sell to him, people. sell to us. But I would, if he ever wanted to and they were there, I'm all for it, really and truly. I don't buy into it, as I said. But yeah, people, it is what it is where that's concerned. So yeah, that ends the transfer news. That's who we've been linked with, innit, people? So yeah, that's the transfer news, really. So yeah, that brings a close. That literally brings a close to that part. Big up you lot for tuning.